Yay, grandfather.
Well, last time we began in this city of Freedom's Hold, in the tavern, discussing what to do next. Promptly, a friend of Dimes, whom he didn't remember, showed up and talked to him about all the missions and plans he had to find this mysterious guy that we have heard about. Dimes acted like he didn't remember anything, and then told us that he had amnesia, which, of course, has never been a convenient thing ever before. His friend said we talked back and forth with him, and he set up a meeting with us to get to some information brokers that he knew, and could get to help us with some information. Probably going to be some trade with them to get it. But they will tell us more about Grineth, I think. Grineth? Yeah, a shapeshifter. I'm just calling it Grimeth. Grimeth, a shape-shifting person in... yeah. To that person. That's what we want to know about, basically. Meanwhile, though, another person came in and said, "Graham, I need your help. My dragon friend has disappeared. I think he is in the ruins of a destroyed city." And then we said, "Yeah, sure." And he was like, "You also get 200 gold pieces." And we were like, oh, I mean, okay, yeah, I mean, double, yeah. And then we went to the ruined city, and we found a necromancer there after going into the well, fighting some deep crows. And then we dispatched the necromancer in a big fight, all his minions, and made a fear ritual in the place. And then we left and returned back home for a good night of rest before, on the morrow, we could finally meet these gentlemen information brokers. Did I miss anything?
That sounds about right.
All right.
And last session, as you returned to the tavern, so aptly named at this point, the Cat and the Cucumber, you did indeed meet Marcus, who told you that next evening he's got a meeting for you. He'll come get you. He still has some things to work out, and sharing the meeting place too far in front of the meeting is bad, and because it might be an ambush by your side, but he would know that you would never do that, and things like that. He talks.
Remind me, we wanted to meet with this guy to... Fuck, I've forgotten. Why did we want to meet with this guy?
Basically, Marcus suggested that he knows people who know things, and if you're ever stuck, then, he can maybe help you out.
We wrote -help in the command bar. It's because we found out that Dimas basically had a secret history he didn't remember with this guy, and we wanted to know about that,
right,
and about who Greneth is.
Right.
Because that seemed all very mysterious, and I think that's why Sheep really wanted Jake to be here. These people are probably going to know his character, and it's going to be very awkward. Maybe they'll take Dimes into another room.
Maybe he's drunk.
It will probably be less awkward than that flowing intro you made for Gogur's character in the song Lies of Fire role playing. Only he wasn't there, and he announced he wouldn't be there.
Yeah.
It was a good intro.
I sent it to him. He read it, so
he knew.
He knew.
Well, as it stands, it is the evening of the day you've returned, where you've returned stiffly the poor Cloud Dragon who got into some trouble, to say the least. And your meeting is the next evening, so you've got an entire day to really spend as you please, if there's anything you want to do, of course.
Well, I don't really know who these people are. I still have some relationships that are unused, but Graham, it doesn't really have a whole lot of motivation to do a whole lot of things right now, because we're kind of just waiting for a thing to happen that he doesn't really know about. You could try to get information about the information brokers, but that seems a bit meta for him, even. And he doesn't really have the right connections with that sort of thing. Sort of underworld in this kind of part of the place. Yeah, no, he'll go and those jugglers and whatnot. He saw them. If there are any other sites, you can go look at horses or something in the city. try the different types of like bakeries and whatnot. It doesn't really do much for him, but he can look at it and smell it. And,
oh my goodness. Fancy was gonna like close herself away, like try to write poetry about the last heroic thing we did. You're going to bakeries? Fancy is going to go with you.
That's the Old North didn't have a lot of them, like pastry shops and such. But looking at them, that makes him happy in some way. Maybe like if there's like that orphan boy who stands with no shoes outside looking at like a cake, you can buy him one. That sort of thing.
Fancy is more than happy to gush about confectionaries. This may have been what a few of her gold pieces have gone to if it's not a charitable effort.
Yeah, he can't really eat them, but
I can enjoy them nonetheless.
Yeah, in his own way.
What do Gil-galad and Enrican do on a day where they have nothing really to do other than wait?
Well, Enrican will probably study and look into the dagger he picked up, because that dagger is special, and he will spend his free day looking into that, as we discussed, Chip.
Okay.
Well, let's see. Gil-galad has apparently at least a funeral to kind of set into preparation for all the dead people from the village. Someone has to go there and, take care of all the bones, I guess, by now. But still, it has to be done. So he's probably gonna go to a temple and get the preparation started and, let people know and perhaps even see if they can find any people who may know or have any relatives to that village. Stuff like that, probably.
Yeah, looking around, asking around, Gil-galad will quickly realize that finding out the relatives of that village is probably going to take a while. There might be some around, but it's not exactly a trivial task.
Yeah, he's probably, probably there's gonna be an announcement about, the happening, basically, of whatever that ceremony entails, basically. And, there will be information about, these people are basically... well, there will be a memorial for them, then sponsored by this temple, and basically if you have any relatives there or if you knew anyone and you want to be present, that's where and when. That's pretty much it. It's probably not gonna go looking, one by one relatives for these people. It's not really that practical. Is anybody... Oh, did they disconnect? Hello, guys?
Yeah?
Hello.
I got disconnected.
Yeah.
Sheep disconnected.
Oh, damn it!
Seems like that wasn't just starting the server.
It's a good thing he sent his whisper to me in time then.
Oh.
Well then.
Oh, there you go.
RIP server.
So I disconnect from this server of utter blackness?
What is it with this server?
Oh my
Every
God, I
time
can load it.
I am fixing
I'm
my
still
token,
here.
it disconnects. It is...
I'm still here. I have it. I
do expect this to maybe potentially happen multiple times because my internet is a piece of shit currently. So
let's try again.
Just reconnect. The server's still running.
I'm still connected, but the server is mine now.
I rule here.
I have it all.
You have no power here,
I'm
sheep.
still a player, but I can... All right, let us disconnect from this.
I could not load campaign.
And I can't connect to it, so it's going to have to be restarted.
Malachi has locked us out. It is his world now.
Aye.
None shall gain access.
Fine.
Let me send the thing I sent
No,
you.
no, I got it.
Okay.
Unless you sent me another thing, I got
No.
the paragraph, and my reaction is, oh.
Oh right, yes, you did roll like 5 5s, didn't you?
No, I rolled 4 5s and a 6.
So there's one thing that's not gonna have terrible consequences. Because some guy just gave me money and be like, "Don't touch that."
Server is up again.
Throw it to the ground.
I think. I hope. Oh.
Let's find out.
Sometimes it's better to roll 5s because you're pretty sure the DM is gonna use those.
You can, one of you kids who are hitbox mods and Jonas's channel can show that image to the kids.
Poor kids. You can have some pastries.
So-
You know, all those orphans we talk about and the jugglers and such, that's the chat people. They're the chat.
Can you connect to the server?
No.
No,
I'm trying to connect.
No.
It says connecting.
I got a thing error.
Alright,
Still
let
timing
me,
out. Yeah.
let me
Are you sure the
restart
IP didn't
afterwards.
change?
Yes. Maybe. I don't know.
It happened before.
I hope I still have an IP.
What is my IP? You are anonymous on the internet. Completely, utterly unknowable.
Limitless power.
I can do anything.
He's just gonna surf Reddit.
Yeah.
Ah!
Who I am?
Ha
It did in fact change.
Wow.
I did explain it.
Oh boy!
Server's not up yet. Give me a moment.
Can't connect you.
He
I
said,
know.
"Give him a moment."
Give me a moment.
I know.
Ah! Everyone is freaking out! Stop freaking out!
It's really just to make Jake appear.
He's stalling,
Server
is
is up.
that what we're saying?
Nice. So, Sip, I don't know how much did you actually hear from what I said.
I don't know either. I don't know anymore.
What's the last thing that you may remember?
I have no clue. Just start again.
Well, he was basically gonna, start the arrangements for massive funeral of the whole village, basically, and kind of post a note that, people can attend to this or whatever. It's basically gonna be mostly through another table that is present to this place. So, it's not like he's gonna do it himself. Probably gonna just start the whole thing. It's probably gonna keep him busy for at least a while.
Do you mean the village of Wilston? Because
yeah, let's see.
that has been abandoned for decades at this point.
I think the point is
Really?
that people didn't know what had happened to the people, right?
For decades?
true. Yeah.
They-
It's been an abandoned town for a while.
It's probably like an old guy who goes there and cries but doesn't say why, and then... I mean, that's
Oh.
fine, though.
It's old man crying. He always goes there. We don't know.
Well,
If anybody knows what happened.
yeah, exactly. At least we know they're all dead now, so you can, have a closure, I guess. Something. And, it's good for the spirits to actually have that ceremony.
Okay. Yeah, I did get that part, and I was about to tell you guys something when I got so rudely interrupted by everything. So I'll just start again. Because as your characters rather travel through town in your small groups or alone, you will see a rather peculiar display in the center of town, right in front of where the Cloud Dragon post is, in fact, where there is currently the large grey shape of Apochrysarius Warwick, standing in front of the building of the Cloud Dragon post. He is not this time wearing his kind of saddle harness, but rather covered in a thick blanket, a sort of brown-yellow robe that ends just inches above the ground and covers most of his body, except of course the wings, tail, and head. He is currently doing his best impression of a statue, as a thoroughly annoyed J-Roy standing in the doorway of the Cloud Dragon post continues getting very upset.
Let's get him, guys. Let's fucking get this guy.
Warwick's head does swivel towards you as you kind of inevitably have to move through the send-off down, making J-Roy even more upset that he's now being ignored. But Warwick's only expression, well, the only expression that there might or might not be, is a tiny nod of greeting as he returns back towards facing J-Roy.
Oh, he'll get
mumbling some words.
Slightly over-exaggeratedly friendly nod.
No, just a acknowledgement, really.
Yeah, but he'll get one of those in return.
Oh, okay.
Like a smile and good day to you. If he's being civil, then Graham will be civil too. Like the guy may not be friendly, but I mean, really don't have enough information to really 100% condemn him. He could be set up as well.
Yes, but perhaps not being civil, sieging the Cloud Dragon post as it currently looks like, and blocking a rather large part of the central square there. But he's certainly not being hostile either.
Are there any guards around or anything like that?
There are a couple guard-like looking people looking a bit worried. What there's mostly currently is a bit of a crowd of people just watching, although most seem to have left already, as this display seems to have been going on for a while now. There's a group, a horde even, of children, kind of the brave ones picking up like pebbles and chucking them towards him, not really hitting him, but at least showing how brave they are by even trying them in the first place.
Mm-hmm. Well, we do need to talk to him.
Do we?
I mean, I'm at least curious to find out, why did he do this whole thing about, luring us into a kind of a trap, I guess.
Sure.
And what's his plan from the future? Like, is he gonna attack us again, or?
Are we all together at this point, Sheep?
You could be. Perhaps you all kind of stop to stare and notice each other standing there conveniently.
We have a
We have lunch.
fancy with like a Belgian waffle.
Yeah, we have like lunch
something
in
like
one of the stands.
Fancy has practically like her memory of like what's happening is like submersed within like sugar right now. So like she should probably recognize the dragon. Maybe she will in a moment.
Yeah, is she a messy eater of these sorts of things?
Typically she's not a messy eater, but in this particular case, due to the traveling thing, it'd be like if you're walking around in a fair here in the States and you have like elephant ears and like the cotton candy. There's probably like a smudge, a few smudges like around like her cheeks and like her lips.
All right. Yeah, Graham looks happy,
Especially when Graham said that he couldn't indulge in these things, she worked extra hard to indulge so that he could live vicariously through her.
Mm-hmm.
As he said, that he derived pleasure from
that. So who is good at talking to big grey dragons?
Last time I talked to a dragon, we ended up in a fight, so not me.
Last time I tried to talk to a dragon after Jonas talking to a dragon, I got attacked.
Anakin will have come out from the academy. He seems to be deep in thought and sort of... He rounds a corner, like basically bumping into Gil-galad on his way out. Like, oh, I'm sorry. Looking around. Sees Gil-galad, sees Fancy and Graham over there and all the candy stuff. And he sort of, starting to make his way towards them, and then he also sees the grey and stops, glaring at him.
Warwick does as he has done with the others, noticing Enrican, after a little while anyways, swiveling towards him, slight nod as he then turns back to J-Roy, who continues his tirade of... At this point, you would be close enough to probably hear words, even though J-Roy is trying to kind of do this kind of quiet shouting to not really make a fuss of it, but inevitably making a bigger fuss of it. thinks about that Sifley needs to rest. He is hurt. He cannot send messages right now. And aren't Apocristarius kind of the messengers? Why do you need a Cloud Dragon to send a message if that is your own job? Things like that.
He's being salty towards the Grey. I like it.
Didn't seem like a man to turn away business.
So with this, he must be asking something really arduous, I'm guessing.
I mean,
So,
Graham is a little put down that this guy is like ruining the great affair. Like, it's a nice day, right? And this, now they're like here being, ruining the great.
The children seems to like it though. They're like throwing rocks at the dragon and having fun.
Otherwise, it's like, well,
Anyway.
he'll sort of walk with Fancy. We're going this way anyway, just in the sort of distance where he can sort of eavesdrop a little bit. He doesn't really want to involve himself yet. It seems like he doesn't want to involve himself, at least if he doesn't know what's going on. Like, just jumping in the middle of something doesn't seem like a good idea. It might not concern him at all.
Well, approaching a bit closer, the conversation, if it is one, is very one-sided, with Warwick occasionally saying quiet words, too quiet to really overhear unless you're really, really inappropriately close, and J-Roy then sighing and saying in probably too loud of a voice that business is closed, to which Warwick does not react at all, continuously blocking the entrance of the Cloud Dragon post. J-Roy does look like he simply wants to close the door and go back inside, but does keep standing in the doorway. Perhaps motivated by, well, manners, really.
That's the worst motivation.
So Gil-galad is gonna approach the dragon. And when he's appropriately close, I suppose, to his size anyway, he's gonna cast? No, he's not.
Yes.
But he's gonna
Charm person.
Oh.
He's gonna say, you, aren't you the one we may have a lot to talk about?
The large head swivels towards Gil-galad, as the large eyes for a moment just scan over him. I don't think I have anything to talk to you about. I need to send a message, nothing else.
You have a few things to explain, or else I will have to consider you a danger and deal with you appropriately.
Damn.
The head tilts a little bit as the only expression of any sort. I don't think that would be wise.
There are, of course, ongoing, I suppose, procedures for your case. I thought we just might want to hear your side of what was going on there. Why did you trap us? Why did you try to kill us and frame us?
I did not try to kill you.
That's a start. Go on.
For what it's worth, I think I am glad that the outcome was as it was.
So you were hoping that we would kill these wildlings. Wilders, sorry.
Surely I was hoping that the Wildercourt would go as the Wildercourts do. You are implying that I did things that I did not.
So you did not kill the representation of, what was it? Of our side, of Coppergate?
You need to be careful with your accusations in public.
Well, that is exactly why I'm speaking to you. I want to know exactly what happened there. What was your motivation?
I think that to answer what happened, it suffices to say that I was not subtle.
Do you have any motivation to go against the ones left alive? You may know what I'm talking about. An ex-rider of yours? Companion of sort?
I can tell you this much. I did not have to bring him.
Is he safe? Are you gonna try to kill him?
You need to be careful with your accusations in public.
I'm not accusing you, I'm just asking.
I do not care much for your questions.
I see.
Well, seeing as we killed, well, our one black dragon and a few others because of you and your setup, I would say that you owe us a few answers, and I don't really care for what you like and don't like in public. You set us up. We could have died. We have ruined a wilder court in self-defense thanks to you. You owe us.
Then again, your silence can be an answer of its own. Mostly proof of guilt, as it usually is.
I did what I was ordered to do.
And
Likely
what-
next time I will not have as much room to interpret the orders as I did. You should feel lucky that things ended as they did.
Lucky.
So you were ordered for that. And who gave you that order?
He raises a scaly eyebrow.
I care not about your political games here, Dragon. But
The Grey
involving
do not
innocent
engage in
people.
politics.
No, clearly not.
Yes,
Your
clearly.
interpretation and setting up of a court and the destruction of it is clearly not political. No, not at all.
Mm-hmm.
You're a remarkable exemplar of your faction, definitely. Yes.
But I do not appreciate you involving innocent people. People who could have been killed there. People who have no training even.
You survived. There were no
I'm not
innocents
talking about
killed.
us. I'm talking about someone you brought along, even though you knew how things would turn out.
I knew nothing.
Well, you claim so, partially. And then you go ahead and say that you had orders. You did what you had to do. So I'm only to assume that you were prepared for this, that you planned even, possibly for this.
Slight frown appears on his face. I did what I did. And how I did it was not in a subtle manner. That is all I can say. You think you know things? Perhaps you're right.
Gilgalad's gonna shrug. I don't claim to know things. I actually know that I know very little about this situation. But I do realize that you brought someone in danger, someone you shouldn't have. And then you went ahead and used other people to do your dirty work. This can be seen as something dangerous to do. But you don't strike me as a beast. Perhaps it's best to leave bureaucracy take care of your matters. Perhaps. Unless you prove to repeat this error.
Dragon looks over. Bureaucracy. Look at him. He's part of it. He's not gonna get reprimanded. He just confessed that he did what he was told. He set us up. He was told to set us up.
Yes, that is a problem. He was told so by someone. So his order is probably, well, quite politically involved with a number of things. I'm only to assume so. Like you said, Mr. Gray, we don't know anything, and you refuse to inform us. So we assume things.
Perhaps that is exactly what I want.
Perhaps.
Arkin looks at him. He's gripping his staff. He looks like he really wants to get more threatening, but he's keeping it down because there is indeed kids around, and he doesn't really want to go all cackling evil darkness, doom and gloom in the middle of town.
Mm-hmm. Well, Gilgalad is gonna turn around and just say, well, if you want to inform us, maybe, in a more private place, I believe you can find us. If not, then next time we see you, things may go differently.
I expect them to. My orders will no longer have much area for me to maneuver in, I suspect.
Let's see. Gil will basically take off. She doesn't want this place to become a battleground, especially not against a dragon like this.
How does J. Roy look right now at this intervention?
Well, considering he was most definitely close enough to overhear everything, he is currently kind of scratching his slight stubble, looking confused, but also making a very clear show of staying out of this.
While that conversation is going on, Graham would have tried to sort of catch his eyes, and then, like, while Vorak is looking like at Gilgalad, he would sort of have made a head nod for Jayward to just go inside while they're talking. You're done. Just like exit the scene, and when he turns back to the closed door, that you're free. You can't get in there anyway.
Well, J-Roy does hesitate at that gestured suggestion, but will eventually do just that.
Just
And after Gilgalad went away from Warwick, ending the conversation, Warwick will again turn towards the closed door, not really surprised, and gently use his big head to knock even 3 times, waiting a bit, knocking again, waiting a bit. A process that repeats over and over and over.
Does Graham know of a way in, like, is there like he's been in there though, is there like a back door or civilian door? Or...
There is a window that looked like it would be able to be to be gone through by, like, most things. Probably something that's swiftly used a lot, but not really a back door.
Okay, so there's only one entrance then.
Yes.
Or, well, suppose there's like a bench or something around.
Oh, there certainly are benches on.
We can sit down.
Square.
We have enough stuff to just, even if this dragon now there's no longer rude conversation going on, we can still enjoy the weather while keeping an eye on things so they don't escalate. At least that's
we'll
what.
certainly sit next to kind man Graham. I mean, whatever. She's eating.
You can. Yeah. We'll think about if we stay in this city, what he can try the next day he has off. There's lots of things around in this part of the world that he hasn't really encountered before.
Well, as you're settling down to watch the rather slow-paced spectacle that most other observers have already considered not really entertaining anymore, as it is just a large tenon repeatedly knocking on a door. And as rare as the grey are, this is not really exciting for most of them. Some linger a bit, but none really stay around.
Mm-hmm.
And minutes pass, 10 minutes pass, the hour passes.
At that point, Graham will sort of, dust himself off a little of the powdered sugar that he's got on him somehow, even though he doesn't really eat the stuff. He'll just sort of, stand up, sort of, I'll just be a minute. She gives Fancy like a...
Okay. Fancy has
reassuring
like
smile.
small, like little empty, like paper dishes, like all like stacked up next to her from all of like the food she's gotten up to get.
Yeah. Like at this point, Graham is kind of his like 2 experiences with Fancy has kind of left him with the impression that she's like a young soul to him, and he finds her endearing. Sort of again like kind of like a grandfather, really. Even though he's, saying that he's not that old is a bit of an under-exaggeration.
Right.
He's old enough to be her grandfather,
very, very
alright.
So, but it's amusing, and sort of her slightly sort of oblivious nature is so he'll stand up and sort of begin to walk over there, sort of in casual pace. Sort of looking at the rings. Just close today.
It is never closed.
Oh, there was the Cloud Dragon here. He got in an accident. He was exploring a nearby town and got stuck in a well. I don't know how long it's going to take for him to really recover. Though I don't think there was too much physical damage. You know how those things can be to the young. Scary experiences. But it doesn't look at the dragon. It still just looks at the door.
I saw him. He did not look too injured.
Oh, I wasn't talking about physical again. A mental thing.
Mental injuries do not prevent him from delivering messages.
So, what message is so important anyway?
I need to send a message to Coppergate. The contents of the message are none of your concern.
How much of a hurry is it? We might be able to bring it with us. I think we're going towards Coppergate soon. One of my acquaintances, friend, I suppose, has some business to attend to there. If you'd like to, we travel fairly fast. Of course, not as fast as Cloud Dragon.
He pauses for a rather long moment, then slowly shakes his head.
Looks up at him and says, "You would have done your best to deliver the message in time, given the circumstances."
You could deliver the message if you were anyone else. This message has to be delivered by... He pauses. Unrelated entities.
He nods and says, "Well, perhaps with Graham's, the Yaris people, the generally Nordic people, do a lot of like trading and traveling. Maybe he is like in his couple of days staying here, met some people who recognized him and were like friendly with him and shared a story, a joke, maybe a little bit of alcohol that he might know is going in that direction. Who like travel light. I could maybe use my Jarl 6 to have such a connection that I could offer for Warag to use instead of us then to bring this message."
Sure, there are plenty of merchants who who make a point of not only dealing wares, but also dealing in messages and rumors and such things. So
Sure.
maybe Graham has met someone.
Yeah.
Would be willing to do that for a small fee, of course, but nothing really
I mean,
worth
nothing
changing.
compared to what the Cloud Dragons take, I'm sure. Yeah, so he'll say, well, I know this man in town, Alphys. He's a trader, information, and a bit of such things. I think he's going to Coppergate this very evening. Perhaps you could ask him to take the message. He'll do it fast and shouldn't be much of a problem, I don't think. Little fee, but of course that should be nothing compared to what the Cloud Dragons take.
I should not be seen talking to anyone who does not approach me first. I would be willing to give you the message to give him.
Yeah, this is very well. I should do my best. Where would you want it delivered to?
The office of the Grey, Coppergate. Graneth needs to know that I will be late.
He nods and looks at him. All right, that should not be too difficult. Next to the door. Well, so that you get a bit of time off. I think you've deserved it. She gives him a slight smile.
I do not deserve it. It is necessary. I need
Down
to.
here has some excellent pastries. If you would try down a few corners there. Make some excellent fried dough, I believe it was called. So frowned slightly. Something to try, perhaps. He sort of looks at the ring. Does he seem to have the message with him, like a letter or something?
No, he basically just told Graham what he wants to have sent, which is that he is going to be late, and that's it.
All right. He sort of looks at him and says, is there anything you could bring so that the recipient would know that it's from you, or would he just know by the message itself?
Simply have your messenger mention my name. Graneth will not be happy about the message, but it is necessary.
All right then. I shall get to it then. Give the old man some rest. He looks at the door. I'll go handle it now.
Right, nods.
Reach his hand out and pat the dragon a little bit, like on its scaly leg or something, whatever is like close to him. You can't really reach its bag, probably. Shoulder. She'll nod to it, sort of reassuringly, and say, "All right," and then he'll go back to Fancy, and then say, "Sorry, is there anything else?"
As Graham basically does that and starts moving away, Warwick was basically in the motion of moving away himself, but stops, turning around towards Graham. Do not misunderstand this. I am thankful. But if we meet again out of this town, it will likely not be a friendly meeting.
He nods and says, you will do your best, and we will do our best. But sometimes one's best is not enough. He will say, sort of smiling, and says, there are many places where one can go when things need to blow over for a while. He smiles. As he looks at me and says, thank you. I will go deliver your message.
I had hoped that you would take the hint and hide in the forest for at least a couple of days, but you did not.
He says, there are things that need to be done. We won't be here for that long. So he says, and if you ask around, I'm sure you would hear that we were going towards a small town in the mountains around.
Crimson Peak.
Crimson Peak, yes.
Get fancy, like helpfully chimes from the bench.
Yeah, I think that is where we'll go. The mountains there. Might be difficult to find us if there's anything you want, but that is how it is. We travel fairly light and fast. As I'll give you that now. Perhaps we meet again, but let us hope that we don't have to. So that gives a slight smile. A good day. Pastry shop on the corner. So we go. Begin to go back to fancy. Princess, as you heard, I need to deliver a message for the kind Vorak.
Sure, I'll come with.
All right.
Fancy stands up, like crumbs like falling onto like the ground.
It's like pigeons that swarm.
Absentmindedly like sucking on her fingers to like take off like the remnants of like the sugar and the honey and the ginger.
And then Warwick will begin making his way to Alphys, the trader, who
You called yourself Warwick, man, again.
Oh, Graham will Alphys, the trader, and give him the message, basically. Say that he wants in the Grey, the embassy of the Grey, he has to... Actually, Graham will write it down. He knows Alphys can be a little bit of a... He's a little fast sometimes, so he'll write it down, ask that this be delivered. Did Warwick give him, like, a fee? No?
No.
No. Well, then perhaps part of the 6 can be that Alphys is a very friendly guy with Graham, and
also the fee wouldn't really be worth mentioning. Messages sent via Cloud Dragon are ridiculously expensive for normal folk, but just giving some trader a message, that's something you can afford without problem.
Well, he generally moves around rather fast. Graham knows that he actually, on the side, he also gathers like intelligence of the places he goes that he gives to, brings back home, or gives to other traders. There's like a network, basically, where they tell each other the news and happenings around. He gets a little bit of money. Maybe even in this kind of place, there might be like a newspaper that pays reliable traders for that sort of news. So he travels rather fast. Doesn't bring that many goods, but that's just the kind of person we need. So we'll give him the message and thank him, for the time they spent and for the favor, and then he'll basically begin to make his way back to the to Cloud Dragon Post to make sure that the good Jiroi is okay and that nothing happened to him.
Returning to the Cloud Dragon Post, J-Roy does very much look okay, but exhausted. Not the physical kind, but just the, I'm so annoyed, but I'm glad it's over, exhausted.
1 hour of...
Yeah. Well, I should say that he hopes that J-Roy doesn't dislike him bringing the business somewhere else, and he didn't really want to intervene in his business, but he hopes it's okay that he did anyway. It seemed like a situation that could use his aid.
Normally, it would be rather inappropriate to suggest someone wanting to send a message with the Cloud Dragon Post to go somewhere else, but in this case, it's fine. And thanks.
And then he hopes that the business gets back to normal soon enough. Though he does think that a few days off would be good. Don't go to that one pastry shop where he sent Warwick, though, because he might be there and it would be a little awkward. Small chance, but
yes, a few days of rest from being stuck under a rock, which doesn't quite explain the marks of rusty manacles around his back leg, but surely Sifley will tell him eventually.
Good, wonderful. Just stay safe and all such. And he'll go again, basically. At this point, maybe the day has gone a little bit, so I'll make himself ready, and We take a bath, braid his beard again, get all the sugary stuff so he doesn't have sticky fingers and whatnot for when he has to meet. Maybe shake hands with these. He doesn't know if they do that. They probably don't, but you don't want to be that guy who has sticky fingers when you shake hand with him. So.